So President Barham Salih announced he would resign today, and today is August 29th, and this podcast will probably come out on the 30th. So just so you guys know.
Yeah, because he's a shit editor. What? I would
And
never say that.
Salih is the president of Iraq, and that's why I
Well,
said Iraq is
former
on.
president of Iraq.
No, he's still the president. He's just announcing his retirement.
Oh,
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird situation over there. And let's give some context about Iraq because it's actually quite a complicated region. Iraq has two main religious slash ethnic people. It really depends on how you look at these people and if you think the split is greater than religion and if it goes all the way into ethnicity. That's your opinion for you to decide. But those two groups are called the Shiite or Shiite and the Sunnis, depending on how you pronounce it. I'll go Shiite.
The Shiite?
Yeah.
They're the
So
Shiite?
so you could pronounce it Shiite, Shiite,
Shiite.
or Shia.
So
I'll
shite
go.
or like shit.
So just so you won't get confused, I'll just do
God.
Shia. So the Shias believe that the Prophet Muhammad should be succeeded by his family lineage, and the Sunnis believe that Muhammad should be succeeded by the next best option. So it would be presumably by a outstanding leader, not someone like Muhammad because obviously he is the best, but someone who is morally, at least to some degree, as equivalent as Muhammad. And the Shias, they believe that Muhammad should be succeeded by his family lineage, and that happened to be a woman. That's why there was such a big split
Oh shit.
between those two different people.
Yeah,
And
no. This is
currently,
the Middle East, by the way. We're talking about.
correct. And currently, the Shia, they make up the majority of the Iraqi population. And Iraq's government has pretty much gotten nothing done since late 2021 due to the deadlock in the nation's government. And President Salih is loved by the Shia people. And the reason why we're talking about this is because after President Salih's retirement announcement, protests have completely erupted in the Green Zone. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the Green Zone and why do the Shias care about this President Salih?
Or
And
more
the
importantly,
simple,
why we or anybody else should care about this. This shit's happening in the Middle East. How does this affect us?
correct, I'll get to that. And so President Salih is beloved by the Shias. He's done very many things for them and their coalition in government. And that's why they love him so much. He's almost an icon in that group of people. And the reason why this is important is because all these protests are happening in the Green Zone. And the Green Zone was established by the United States after the Iraq invasion, which happened under George W.H. Bush. And this was meant to be a very secure region of Iraq, meaning there'd be no gunfire, there'd be no missiles thrown. It'd be like walking in not Washington, D.C., but somewhere equivalent with a little bit less security. It was supposed to be very secure, at least for Iraq standards. And in 2009, control of this green zone, this very secure area, was handed to the Iraqi government. And another important thing, the U.S. Embassy is located in the green zone. So that we're all caught up. I mentioned before that protests have been erupting in the green zone, which is highly unusual considering this is supposed to be a secure area.
Right.
And
Sort of like a no-fire zone.
yes, and a potential civil war is breaking out in Iraq
Oh shit.
after this president's resignation. It's actually that bad. 15
Okay.
people have already been dead after, I think it was 15 hours.
So
And this,
that's
yeah.
crazy. But
Yes.
again, like, I mean,
why do we care
yeah.
about this?
I don't-
I'm getting to that. So, as I mentioned, gunshot and missile fire could be heard in the green zone. And the big part about all of this situation, why we should care about this, is because I mentioned earlier, the embassy is located in the green zone. The U.S. Embassy, that's where the United States houses our workers, the people that work for our country. And our people, Americans, had to be evacuated by helicopter again
Shit.
from the U.S. Embassy. Now, if you guys don't remember, in Afghanistan, in Kabul, the capital, this was where our U.S. Embassy was located. Previously, the people in the embassy had to be evacuated by helicopter.
Mhm.
So, once again, the United States is losing ground in another state that we nation built. So, it's just not looking good for the current administration because not only do we have Afghanistan fall, and that's partly to blame, well, at least mostly to blame because of us.
Yeah,
Iraq's
well,
falling.
Japan.
Iraq is falling, particularly in the green zone. And in my opinion, that has a lot to do with us. Because once again, we were confident, so confident enough in the Iraqi government that we handed control of the green zone to them. The green zone is where we house our American people. So we have to have a great deal of trust in them. And obviously that kind of backfired. And if you might be
Trust was
thinking, oh,
misplaced.
right, might be thinking, oh, the violence, it's probably not that much. It doesn't look too severe. Let me
They
just show
were
you a
peaceful
couple clips.
protesters.
Peaceful protesters. Let's look at this first Twitter clip.
Oh shit, is that a fucking machine gun?
Yep.
Oh, no way. That's
M2
fucking
Rust?
mad.
Yep.
What the fuck? Oh, there's a new video.
Wait, hold up.
Underneath it.
Before you watch it, this is supposed to be the safest and most secure zone in Iraq. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if you've seen Iraq, but
Okay.
all right, let me
Let's go
see
to the second video. So this is not in the green zone. Just so I preface this, this is in Baghdad, but it is very close.
Hey, what the fuck? Those are rockets?
Those are missiles. Yeah. It does. It gets worse. Okay.
It's looking like the end of the world over there.
It gets worse. Okay.
It
There
always
was-
looks like it's the end of the world.
A capital insurrection, boys. We gotta do a January 6th commission
Oh
before
my
Iraq.
god, January 6th, too.
I think that they're. That's the presidential palace.
And of course, just like the first, they're just out with their phones, taking selfies.
To be
maybe
fair,
standing on a podium.
the difference here is that they're probably holding guns. Which is not very safe.
I mean, yeah, but like, this is what insurrections look like in 2022. All right, I'm watching the fourth video.
But these are essentially the same thing, right?
That's insane.
Yeah, Iraq's pretty much falling. It's crumbling.
All right.
The government already set a curfew, but obviously curfews are not effective. So
They
all we
weren't
could do-
effective in 2020.
right, especially in a place like Iraq where the government doesn't really have centralized control over the people. So
Based.
it's just
Based.
it's a horrible situation all around, and all we could do is just wait to see. And I guess at this point, what we could speculate about is how this could affect Joe Biden in the midterms. So for Iraq,
yeah. So we don't really have a slam this time, right? But
right,
we should still talk about how this may implicate Joe Biden. Biden.
So interestingly enough, as I mentioned in Afghanistan, literally the same situation happened. Because if you think about it, in Afghanistan, we prepared or so-called prepared the troops in Afghanistan to fight the Taliban, and they were inadequately prepared.
Yep.
He prepared the people in the green zone how to effectively control the space. That would be a very safe area for business to be conducted. That did obviously not work because the people carrying machine guns, AK-47s, missiles being thrown out. It's just not a good situation all around. And I guess this is more iconic in Saigon. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's this very famous picture taken. Saigon is in Vietnam, by the way. This was during the Vietnam War, where America had to send a helicopter to the U.S. Embassy and evacuate Americans.
I think most of the gamers in our audience know about the Vietnam War. Spoiler alert: America lost.
Right, and this image, this famous image, is kind of repeating itself in 2021 and 2022, and maybe in 2023. Joe Biden really cannot catch a break with countries falling under his fingertip. He first had Afghanistan,
and
then maybe Ukraine.
General and competent leader, yeah.
Yeah, first Afghanistan, maybe Ukraine. Ukraine's kind of like in a stalemate right now.
I don't know.
Yeah,
the situation
it's in a stalemate.
Ukraine is definitely a lot more stable than we all thought it was going to be, which
Correct.
I do still think is a good thing because I don't know. There are a lot of like pro-Russia people. Yeah, a lot of pro-Russia people. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, it is a modern day act of like imperial colonialism in 2022.
Correct.
And like we all kind of agreed that wasn't okay for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And Russia's doing it anyway. And there are a lot of people who are like, Russia and Ukraine basically the same shit. But there's one really, really big difference. And the difference is Russia is like still kind of vying with the idea of bringing the USSR back eventually at some point. So they've still got those communist roots. Ukraine is very successful at being a market capitalist country. And as the primary promoters of liberal democracy and free market capitalism, we should be caring about that shit a lot.
Yeah, and the helicopter scene that's being repeated across different embassies. It's not a good look for the Joe Biden administration. And as you can see, people are making memes. I think this one was from the previous situation in Afghanistan, but this is being circulated online again. It's the Biden-Harris and then a helicopter above the little tag, and people or soldiers coming out and climbing on the letters and falling.
You worry about leaving a better planet for our kids. How about leaving better kids for our planet? Entire generation offended at everything, getting mad that a human thinks all lives matter. We don't need black or white or left or right. What we need is common sense. We need balance. We're all in the same boat. Why you trying to make holes? If they sink, we sink. This is madness.